All right, so I want to run through this study guide. This is a study guide from Chris Voss's book called Never Split the Difference. It also says on the title, Negotiating as if your life depended on it. Um, Chris Voss was the head FBI negotiator for many, many years and decided to use or teach the tactics that they used in the FBI to help people use them within business. And this is the study guide that they put out, and I'm going to go through it with you guys today. So chapter one goes over the goal and kind of the mindset of how they go into conversation and negotiations. So the goal, people want to be understood and accepted. Our two primal urges are the need to feel safe and secure and the need to feel in control. So to demonstrate that, show that, or fulfill those urges for people, the way you do that is by listening intensely. Demonstrate empathy and show a sincere desire to understand what the other side is experiencing. I think that is key to selling, especially today, because there's so many salesmen. There's people trying to sell you things every which way possible. You can't pull up an Instagram or your Facebook or everything that we do today. There's an ad. Somebody's trying to sell you something. So by listening intensely and really trying to understand people and showing that as this sincere desire to understand what the other person is thinking or feeling really helps. For example, I use this example a lot, but if you call a expired listing as a real estate agent, it's this house, you know you got somebody that probably be interested in buying it. It was on the market like 4 months back. I'm like, you know what? Let me give this guy a call. Try to get him to relist his house with me. You call and say, "Hi, I'm John Smith from Netter Realty." And he goes, "Oh, no. Let me stop you right there. Okay? I'm not putting my house up for sale. I've been getting calls like this all week. Mr. Jones, I bet you've been getting calls like these all week from real estate agents promising you the world. Okay? I totally get it. And I'm a real estate agent. I know what a pain in the ass it is to put on an open house. You got to have your kids out of the house. Everything's got to be all neat, and you know you can't live. It's not a way to live. But the beautiful thing is that if I execute and do my job, the house will get sold, and you'll never have to go through these things again. And I think that's what separates me from the other brokers out there. It sounds like you had a pretty difficult time working with that last guy. How'd it go? Now you're saying, oh, this guy knows I am getting barraged by phone calls, and putting on an open house is a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it again. So if he knows that, maybe he's got a different angle. Let me listen to him. That's a great mindset to get into if you're going to use these techniques. This page says prepare. Goal of preparation. Reveal potential surprises in the negotiation. You don't want to spend 3 months, researching a business if you're going to consult this business. You don't want to, you're trying to get an investor, research what his cousin's favorite ice cream is. A lot of the stuff that people do to prepare is a waste, because in here you'll see they tell you to not assume. Oh, here we go. It says assume right there. Let me just read this. Goal of preparation, reveal potential surprises in the negotiation. Hypotheses versus assumptions. Don't assume. Use negotiation to test hypotheses. Uncover as much information as possible. Don't prepare a counter argument. That's what I was getting to. Is When you prepare certain things so structured, like, oh, I got the best pitch, I'm going to start with this, I'm going to go to this, I'm going to go to that, I'm going to go to this. That's really being selfish and not thinking about the other side. What happens if the other guy, first thing he does when he sits down, he goes, you know what, I want to do business with you. There goes your pitch right out the window. So, or he sits down and go, there is nothing you're going to say to sell me today. And you pitch him, right? But if he goes, I want to do business with you guys. I've been shopping around. I don't like dealing with these other people. I like dealing with you guys. I'll even pay more than the other guys are charging. I want to do business with you guys. You had a whole 2-hour presentation set up. So don't assume. Use negotiation to test hypotheses. Uncover as much information as possible. Don't prepare a counter argument. Uncover what your counterpart actually needs. Money, time, emotional needs. Help them feel safe in order to help them open up and talk more. When I was a financial advisor, I got so many clients by telling them, I need to know one day out of the week when you're free for a 30-minute update on your account. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, why is that so crazy? I want to make sure that you know what's going on with your money. People would laugh and be like, I can't get my broker on the phone. I wanted to sell my stocks the other day. I couldn't even get them on the phone. The fact that you said you want to schedule a half hour for me once a week, how many clients do you have? I have 40, but I'll make time. Really blew some people away. Another thing I used to do that really blows, I got a lot of business and referrals out of. Every new account that I would open up, I would send them a handwritten note. And I would put in there something that made sure it wasn't generic, it was personal. Something, about their dog, an upcoming family trip, a new grandchild, anything that can let them know that I'm listening to them and I'm here for them. A lot of this stuff is going to help in service industries. It's going to help in both regardless, but service industries, you really have to convey that, again, you're here for the other person and what they have to say. Let's go on to the next page. Tone, smile. They used to tell us smile and dial when you're cold calling, right? Smile and dial. Slow it down. This was one of the hardest things for me to learn, and I'm still working on it. When I was taught how to sell, I was originally taught the straight line system by a guy who used to work for Jordan Belfort at Stratton Oakmont, where that hard charging sales worked because they had stocks that were moving quickly and that they had a huge urgency in their pitch. So it was very, right when they start trying to sell you on something, cut them off and say, listen, the stock is moving. We need to get in now. And for doing it for a year or two, I have this bad habit of speaking fast. So just recently, actually, these past 2 weeks, I've been really focusing in on, and I'm adjusting my tone right now. You can hear me. I've been really trying to work on the tone that I use with people, especially when we're talking about serious, sensitive subjects. For speaking about a piece of a contract that we went over 3 times, and you asked me for the 3rd time if I will do this on a percentage basis, not a fee basis, I'm going to say, Joe, I do not work on a fee basis. That should put it to bed. A lot of times in sales, you want to be that calm, understanding voice. Then once you sell them or develop them as a client, then overall you want to transition to the next tone. that positive and playful. Goes from Mr. Jones, I really appreciate your business, to, hey Joe, how you doing? Wanted to give you an update. Joe, I need that paperwork back. See the difference? All right, moving on. Mirror. Mirror involves repeating the last three words of what your counterpart has just said. Creates a sense of similarity and understanding, which facilitates bonding. Uses connectors because they help your counterpart link thoughts. Mirror process. Use your slow, late night DJ tone, as they describe it. Start sentence with I'm sorry to earn the benefit of the doubt, kind of hamper what's coming. And mirror the last three words or an overview of what they just said, and be silent. Let it set in and have them say exactly. That's right. So this is how it would go. I'm not working with any other real estate agents because of the way I was treated at Keller Williams. So you're telling me you're not working with any other real estate agents because of what happened at Keller Williams? You won't work with any other real estate agents because of what happened at Keller Williams? Wow. I feel like you had a difficult time dealing with them on this last one. It works. Moving on. Moving on. Tactical empathy. I feel like that kind of describes everything, but okay, so tactical empathy. Imagine yourself in the counterpart situation. Recognize their perspective and vocalize. Demonstrate that recognition. Understand your counterpart's feelings and hear what's fueling those feelings. Focus your attention on identifying emotional obstacles that are standing in the way of an agreement. Analyze your counterpart's words, tone, and body languages. Spot changes therein and look for incongruencies. Okay, so let's say you're selling whatever, anything. A good thing to do to develop this tactical empathy, what they're talking about, is to inquire with your competitors and tell them you're interested in their product and to call you back and listen to their pitch. Get a couple of them, and you're going to realize some similarities in there that would annoy somebody shopping for that product or qualify for it. And you can use that very effectively with this tactical empathy. Let's say you're selling pharmaceutical drugs to doctors. You want them to start using this treatment. You should call up a few different reps and say, I'm a doctor, whatever it may be, to get them to run through their pitch with you, because then you're going to know what that doctor goes through with people like you. He's going to be like, yeah, and let me guess, I get a free hat and membership from somewhere if I start prescribing your drugs, right? Yeah, I know, because all of them do the same thing. Let me guess, I get a 10% rebate back on it. Yeah, I know. They all do the same thing. No, Dr. Jones, I know they all do the same thing. That's why I'm here. We don't do 10, we do 25%. And no, we're not going to give you some hat. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to have you be a partner with us and work with us on getting your patients the right treatments. But if you know exactly what they're being hit with the product that you're selling with from other salesmen, that's how you can develop this tactical empathy. So moving on, labels. The last 3 deals I closed was because of labels. And sometimes it works so good that on these last 3 it worked so good that this is a number 1 tactic for me. Went at the right time. But all 3 people were super angry. I wanted to consult with a few solar companies. They were super angry about the other business consultants that called them and tried to do business with them. So when I called them, they all 3 were just not happy campers. And I started just labeling them right away. It seems like I said to the first one, I said, it sounds like you've been getting a lot of these phone calls. And he goes, yeah, I am getting a lot of these phone calls. Everybody thinks that, they can consult solar companies and they've never even been in one. And then we got into conversation. The next one, I used a label after presenting them with a 3-month consultation where I would consult them for 3 months on reorganizing their sales structure and how they were getting sales. He was telling me he's tried everything in the book. So I said, it sounds like you probably spent a ton of money on trying to get your sales team up there, and seems like you're probably not too happy that you wasted the money if it's in the situation that it's in. And he goes, that's exactly right. I've been trying to get this team up. I bought this program, that program. I gave a consulting agency a shot. None of them work. I actually had to close that deal by saying to him, I will only work for a percentage of increased business. If you don't increase business, I'm not going to make $1 because your sales team was a nightmare. They had one guy qualify the lead, next guy present them, not ask for an order, just put the presentation on and go, okay, just think about that and we'll have somebody follow up with you in a few days. And then their closer would come in and call and say, all right, it's time to ink this deal and, get this going. The amount of money they were spending on their salesmen's salaries, the time of the sales cycle, everything was a disaster. And these quote-unquote closers were closing at a 30% rate when you've had a lead qualified and requalified. So that one is the first consultation I'm doing this year. I usually don't like to work like that because you got to have a lot of faith in these people to actually listen and work at this stuff. But all right, let's move on. Neutralize the negative. Focus first on clearing the barriers to an agreement. That's such a great point. I'm going to stop right there. One of the biggest accounts I ever had was a guy who was in his 50s. He did not want to use margin, but margin's basically credit to buy stocks with. Because in the past, and people have used their what happened here? Whoops. Oh. This guy was in his 50s. He worked with another financial advisor who used a lot of margin and wound up losing him a lot of money to the point where he owed money. Gave him $20,000 to invest, just as an example. Got a call from broker, said you owe $5,000. So when I brought up margin, he was very no. I'm not doing that. And I brought up that I use it as a hedging. I use it to hedge my positions as well. It allows me to, take leverage put in a stop loss order and basically just exceed your upside. You can put in a put option there to really minimize your downside. But I knew the way I use it, 15 to 20%, it's very, very conservative, especially for the money that he was going to give me. This was his speculative money. So right when I sat down with him, I said, first things first, the margin. He started laughing. Got him in a good mood right away, and then we went through it. And I really explained to him how I was going to use it, or how I would use it, and I gave him the option. I'm not gonna lose the deal over that, but I said, let's look margin. Let's talk about it. Okay, I want to just show you exactly how I would use it. Wrote it out on paper. He signed the margin paperwork, and I did very well for that guy. So going back to this, focus first on clearing the barriers to an agreement. If you know there's an elephant in the room, or there's something to talk about, just talk about it. Don't dodge around it and leave it up in the air, because it's going to be in here. Label your counterpart's fears, negative perceptions to diffuse them of their power. So I spoke about that in the last slide. Avoiding negatives has a counterproductive effect on trust and influence. Avoiding negatives has a counterproductive effect on trust and influence. 100%. If you're just saying positive, 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 you're the best, you're the greatest, everybody's got flaws. And it just doesn't seem human to just put out the positives and not address the negatives. And we saw that in the slide before. When you have some negatives that you need to address, it's good to diffuse them by saying, listen, I'm sorry, but you're not going to want to hear this, but this is going to be tough to hear, but it's a good strategy to use. Steps for diffusing negatives. Observe and listen without reacting or judging. Label each negative feeling that you hear expressed, replace with a positive, compassionate, and solution-based thoughts. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many ways that these 3 steps I use. Sounds like you had a difficult time working with the last group. However, I want to show you why it's different. Things of that nature. Regardless of whether or not you address them, they're bound to be on your prospect's mind. Accusation audit. Imagine the worst things your counterpart might think or say about you. Label these negatives in your opening line and be preemptive with empathy. Use labels to reinforce and encourage positive perceptions. Remove I understand from your vocabulary. This phrase does not demonstrate understanding and can breed resentment. That is a tip that I need to work on. Yeah, you have to say I understand without saying I understand. 100%. That was just in a script that I used to use all the time, but interesting. All right, moving on. Start with no. Giving your counterpart the right to say no helps preserve their autonomy and sense of control. Ask no-oriented questions, questions that require a no response, to help them feel in control and keep emotions at bay. Being asked to say yes too soon makes people defensive. If you receive a no response, ask, What about this doesn't work for you? What would you need to make this work? Seems like there's something here that bothers you. There are three types of yes responses. Counterfeit. Yes is used as an escape route. They want to say no, but don't feel like they can. Confirmation. Reflexive response to a question. Empty affirmation with no promise of action. Yes, just a hollow yes. Commitment. True agreement that leads to action. I know the first two has happened to me many times. I had many people say, okay, let's do this on the phone. Didn't pay for the product or the service. The confirmation reflexive response to a question. You can follow up when you think that's happening and someone just saying, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever, just blowing smoke up your ass. There's a few different ways that you can kind of reclose or confirm that that empty yes. You could say something like, so just I'm going to let you go, but is there any other questions that you might have? Anything that could possibly hold you back from following through? Sometimes you'll get that hollow yes, and you'll get to why it's hollow. So, yeah, well, if the paperwork shows, oh, so it's the paperwork holding you back. All right, start working from there. Use no as a means of establishing agreement. Is now a bad time to talk? I open up almost 90% of my phone calls with that. Hi, it's Lewis Carroll from the Purple Fish Group. Is now a bad time to talk? It's just that it works great. How are you doing? Again, you're not thinking about that person. Now a bad time to talk is a genuine question. You're asking about them, their situation. Asking how are you, they know you don't give a shit how they are. Never even met them before. So it's just, how you doing? Great. They never say, and how are you? Rarely. So I took that out. Say, hey, Steve Lewis from the Purple Fish Group. Is now a bad time to talk? And I don't say is now a good time to talk because they're going to say no, for sure. So just one word can change the whole thing around. It's now a bad time to talk? No, what's up? What's going on? Now a good time to talk? No, I'm busy. I'm swamped. Sorry. Call me back later. It's just great information. Okay, you might need to force your counterpart into a no to help bring them back to baseline. Intentionally mislabel an emotion. Ask a ridiculous question that can only be answered by a no. Okay, so someone's. This is interesting. I want to go back into the book and reread this part. Force your counterpart into a no to help bring them back to baseline. Intentionally mislabel an emotion. So say it sounds like you're going through a tough time with your business. Oh, I see. So he's saying you could say something like, sounds like your business is in worse shape than I thought. Are you a million or more in debt? Well, no, I'm not $1 million in debt. Oh, all right. Bring them back to baseline. So even if they're 40,000 in debt, which ain't good, kind of bring them back to baseline. Email magic. Use no-oriented questions that trigger their natural aversion to loss and provoke a response. Have you given up on this project? Great subject line. That'll get some opens. Okay, I'm going to stop this here because that's right. This is where I got to get into this stuff. You see how one word can change things? That's right compared to yes, you're right. That's right. Good, wholehearted agreement. That's right. I agree with what you just said. Yes, you're right. Bad, tepid agreement creates distance and places you in opposition. It sounds like you had a tough time working with the last group. That's right. Sounds like you had a tough time working with the last group. Yep, you're right. It's, you want to get that's right. And the way you get that's right is by actually caring about people's needs and wants and seeing if you can genuinely help it. So, like I said, I'm going to pause here. This is just one session, one quick session. Just wanted to go over the study guide and give you guys some quick tips out of it. If you want more in depth on the Purple Fish Group and how we do business consultations, um, give me a call, us a call, 929-275-1705. You can also call us at 929-279-1705 as well and ask for a consultation. Whoever's available, take it, and look forward to doing business with you. Take care, guys. Bye.